Hey there, everyone. Happy day. Perhaps it's Wednesday when you see this, and perhaps it's another day of the week. Whatever day it may be for you, welcome to some time to slow things down. Um, you'll probably want to block today because we are starting in Heroes Pose. So I suggest, even if you're like super stretchy, super bendy, all that jazz, still use the support. Um, and make sure you feel really comfortable. You might even want to have your blanket on the mat to go underneath your knees. We will be doing some variations of heroes today, so that's why I'm encouraging you to use extra support now, because the more your body can relax into this place, the more accessible the other variations are going to be that we'll move through today. But also it is, it is a slow flow class, so I promise it won't be too intense in that way. But let's set ourselves up. So the knees are in front of the hips. Make sure that you can slide your hands down the outer hips and you can fit them between your heels and hips, but they are snug together. Everything's nice and tight to the center line. And then as you're ready, just bring the hands onto the thighs, close down through the eyes. And check in. Notice the breath moving in and out of the nose. Notice the balance across the hips and the shoulders. And see if you can draw your navel inward as you exhale and create just a little bit more awareness and support through the abdomen. Notice how your elbows are dropped under the shoulders or slightly ahead of them. Just feel how the elbows sink and weigh down a little heavier and how that helps to open your chest. Maybe you even make a few adjustments here. Notice the sound of your breath. Notice the sounds that surround you inside the room. Notice the sounds that surround you outside of the room. And then come back into your breath. Pratyahara, the practice of fetching one's attention. Now, of course, this comes up in our practice, in our day-to-day life all the time, but it's a very important skill to refine. Because if you can fetch your attention, well, you're going to improve your focus in the moment, and you get to apply that on and off the mat. So suddenly you can be more productive, whatever that looks like for you. Suddenly you're able to rest deeper. Suddenly you're able to sit in stillness longer. Suddenly you're able to create space within disagreements in relationships and also create space for a deeper sense of joy. The ripple effect of this skill is immense. So as we move through our practice today, see if you can practice Pratyahara a little more consciously. And even using that same technique, if you find your attention wandering, you can simply come back to your breath. But if that doesn't work, you can try the noticing the sounds in the room and outside the room, and then come back to your breath. Sometimes we just need to work with the brain, you know? Sometimes our brain feels really active, so give it something to be active about, and then let it actively be aware of the moment. You could keep your eyes closed here, just mindful of your surroundings. Circle the arms out to the sides. Keep your shoulders down, 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 down. Palms face forward, pull your shoulder blades down. Maybe your thumbs come to meet overhead. Keep your shoulder blades down again. Feel a gentle softening through the front low ribs as you engage the abdominals. Keep your palms facing forward and your thumb tips touching, and reach your fingers a little bit closer to the ceiling, micromillimeters, shoulders are down. Exhale, hinge to the right. Keep your arms in that same position, but reach away from yourself. Left sit bone heavy. Inhale, center. Over to the left, exhale, hinging. Reach fingertips away, arms stay straight and strong. Right hip is heavy, center, breath in. Over to the right. Center, breath in. To the left, keep the sit bones heavy so you're not wavering in the hips. One more, center, keep shoulders down. Exhale, right. Center. And left. Center. And just release the arms. Circle them down and back onto the thighs. Roll the shoulders a few times. Ooh, wonder if that little adjustment got picked up on the microphone. Breathe in and out, and that was actually from my quadratus lumborum area, not even the shoulders, so not even the area that we're focusing on, right? It's the area that we're not paying attention to, all in the hips. Shoulders come into stillness. Circle the arms again, reach up to the ceiling, shoulders stay down. This time we're bringing fingers together to interlace them, flip the palms up and send them to the ceiling. Again, your shoulders are down. Keep the arms away from the ears, and that will help you engage the awareness through the outer arms, all down the lats as well. Find your strength integrated in the core, and now hinge to the right. Just a little bit, center. Hinge left, stay tall in the spine. Center. Twist right. Center. Twist left. Center. It's tricky, right? Right hand comes down to the mat, left hand reaches over, exhale. Inhale up through center, so we can go to the other side. Left hand comes down, right hand reaches over. Now we're coming up through center. Twist, left hand forward, right hand back. Left hand can land on your front right leg. Look over right shoulder. Inhale, center. And over to the left, exhale. Right hand onto left leg, left hand comes behind. Beautiful. Inhale, center. Exhale, hands to the thighs. Full breath in. And out. Circle the arms, breath in. Anjali Mudra, breath out. Now, hips lift up, so pull your sternum forward, circle the arms, hips away from the block. You could use your hands to help you. Keep the hips up, hands to heart center. Good, and then circle around and up. And as we come down through heart center, pull your belly in and mindfully bring your hips back. Now you might want to use your hands again as you land into your hero's pose. Okay, full breath in here. And just let it go. Okay. Inhale. You can use your hands. Try pressing your hands into your thighs as you lean forward a bit with your upper body, and then come up off of your heels. Did that make it a little easier? Maybe. Circle the arms, breath in. Breath out. Right hand to back of right leg, left hand reaches back, just a gentle turn over to the right shoulder. And inhale, center. Left hand reaches for back of left thigh, and just look over your left shoulder. Inhale, center. Let's go back to the right. Maybe you can tap your right heel, maybe not. Center. Maybe you go for the calf. Exhale, left side. Again, maybe calf, maybe heel. Center. One more time, right. Find your edge. Center. And left. Good. Center. And hands come down through heart center and back to the thighs. Press your hands onto your thighs and land back into your hero. Full breath in and out. All right, so let's get out of this. Hips off of the block, send your block aside. We'll sweep the legs around front. We're coming into a Dandasana staff pose. So you know the drill. Maybe you want your block or blanket behind the knees. Maybe you want to sit up on a prop. See what feels better for you. I really like the support behind the knees to adjust the hips, but you find your sweet spot. And let's draw a breath all the way in. Sit tall. And a full breath out. Bring the hands to the outer hips, down onto the mat. You're nice and tall, so your arms straighten out here. Feel your navel draw inward. And then press your index fingers down. Close your eyes, it'll make it easier. Press your index fingers down, and then your thumbs down. Now think of squeezing your triceps towards your back. So you feel your chest open, your lats get strong. Your fingers might need to point out to the sides a bit more. That's totally fine. Now feel your sternum lift to the ceiling without tilting your chin. Your head is neutral. Draw a complete breath in and out. Notice how beautiful and tall you feel in this staff pose. One more breath in. As we breathe out, we're going to hold onto this length. You could turn the fingers to point behind you and start to move into a forward fold. Now we move nice and gently here because we'll be here for a few minutes. And we just did a lot of work in the other direction as well. So take your time to let your body soften in here. I promise there will be opportunity to open in the other direction more as well. So while we're here, really focus your awareness into the belly and think about your belly touching the thighs actively. So in your brain, go into those little connections where you're focusing on your abs touching your thighs. That's requiring a decent amount of strength. So we're not fully passive, not like we would be in yin completely. We are a bit active here, especially through the core. Maybe your fingers walk a bit closer to your body and you can slide your chest a little further forward and your belly on the thighs. You might get little twitches and shakes through the body. They happen all the time. Let it flow, let it roll. Breathe in and out. Now we'll be here still for longer. So you will go bit by bit into your journey of whatever the pose is expressing for you today. So your hands could stay behind. You may get to the point where your hands start to reach forward, maybe for your calves or for your heels. We breathe in and breathe out. If you happen to have super stretchy hamstrings, you could use a block under your feet like I have. I have 2 blocks here. So if you feel that you're able to go beyond your heels, you can create more space. But it's not like, it doesn't matter where you're grabbing, okay? I know you all know that already because I repeat myself about it a lot, but it really doesn't matter where you're going. I know some of the postures, they look so fancy when we go deeper, physically speaking, but that doesn't mean that it's better, right? It's different for every body. My body naturally likes to do forward folds. Back bends, not so much. So just notice where you're at. Breathe in, breathe out. Keep looking to your toes if you can. Remember, your shoulders stay out of your ears, so just don't shrug around the neck. Keep those muscles nice and relaxed. Breathe in. Can you expand your lower back and the back of your hips when you breathe? Can you exhale to draw your chest 1/2 centimeter forward? That's a big movement. Maybe less, maybe 1 millimeter. A few more cycles here. Maybe you relax your head and look at the space between your shins. I know it's a lot. Mindfully, slowly, 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 let yourself come all the way up. Oh la la. Hands come behind the knees. Just drag the heels along the ground. Maybe give your legs a little wiggle. And we'll move just for a brief butterfly pose. So draw the soles of the feet together, knees are wide. Hands hang on to the ankles so that you can physically pull your chest further forward. Draw your elbows in, cinch the elbows in toward the outer waist or the outer ribs. Breathe in. Breathe out. One more in. Optional to fold forward as we breathe out. Maybe your forearms come down to the mat, maybe not. Feel the outer edges of your feet press together. This will help create space in the sacral area as well. Breathe in. Breathe out. All right, inhale, come all the way up. Knees close together, give the legs a lovely shake. Fabulous. Moving into supported pigeon. So you'll probably want your bolster here, but if you don't have one, you can use a block as well. I'm going to use my bolster. We'll bring the right leg forward so the right foot comes ahead of the bolster. And then we heel toe the right foot over to the left so that we can lengthen into our pigeon. So really the support is just under the back / outer right thigh. So this is why you can use a block. You can even put your blanket on top of your block. So find the sweet spot for you, but make sure you feel nice and supported. And walk your back leg back, take a look, make sure that your heel is in line with your hip. A little wider is fine if the hips need it. And then just face forward. Your hands can just be on the bolster. And just take a look down at your chest and your shoulders and just try to even them out so that they're, square to the front of the mat, let's say. And we'll pause here. So we're opening in through the hips, of course, but we're also getting a little bit of a back bend. And we're also getting a really nice amount of space in the chest. Breathe in and out. Maybe your back knee walks back a tiny bit more. Now you can stay here. If available, you can bend your left knee. I need a little padding under mine. And if your left knee bends, your left hand could reach back for the ankle. And we hang out here. So the chest stays tall. We're just adding that little extra flare. But sometimes that little extra flare can feel like a whole lot. So if that doesn't work today, don't do it. Just stay tall in your pigeon. Your spine will thank you. Your hips will thank you. Now, whether you have the ankle or not, doesn't matter. Start to look over your right shoulder. And can you look so far over your right shoulder that you start to see your left toes? You can wiggle them around, make sure that that's what you're seeing, or just look to the back right corner of your yoga mat. Big spinal extension here. And then just let your eyes relax wherever, but keep your head in the same position. And gently bring your head back to neutral. Let your left leg release, if you have it, and walk your hands forward so you're in a little bit of a fold. Now you may be able to bring the forearms down, maybe not. See what works for you. We'll be here for a little bit longer. Of course, we don't get into the full sleeping pigeon with the support underneath the hip, but we certainly get into the depths. So we're just a few more cycles of breath here. Feel heavier through the front of your left hip. You might be leaning too much weight to the right. Heavier through the left side. And move slowly. Come up onto your hands. Scooch your weight forward as your back leg comes in. And keep bringing your back leg in until you can easily just pivot your front leg, bring the back leg in. I just have my ankles kind of over my bolster, and then just pause, have a breath in, and out. Other side. So make your adjustments. You know what you're doing. The right or left foot's coming forward, the right leg is coming back. We heel toe the left foot over to the right so we can bring the outer thigh, back of thigh area onto the bolster or block. We walk the right leg back, toes stay tucked, and hands, they just come onto the bolster. And we hang out here. Check out your shoulders. Mine are more aligned on this side. And then notice what's happening in the hips. Feel a little heavier through the front of your right hip. Breathe in, breathe out. Maybe your back knee can inch away a tiny bit. Maybe your chest can even lift a tiny bit higher. Heavier through the front of the right hip. Maybe you can bend your right knee, bringing the heel toward the glute. Maybe the right hand grabs the right ankle. Whatever your edge is perfect. We're hanging out here for a bit. Just feel the shape that you're in. Can you feel your right glute even relax just for a moment? Wherever you're at. Maybe you can look to your left shoulder. And it doesn't matter if you have the back ankle or not. Maybe you can look beyond the shoulder and start to see the back edge of your yoga mat. And let your gaze just rest, but keep your head in the same position. And then look to the top of your mat. Head comes neutral. Release your back leg. You could stay up tall or maybe walk the hands forward on the mat. If available, the hands could walk a little further forward, perhaps even bringing the elbows down. Breath in and out. Get a little heavier through the front of the right hip again. And take your time. Slowly start to push into your hands to bring your upper body back up. And then we'll inch our back leg in. Use your hands to support you so that your hips can get high enough to just slide the left ankle and then the right ankle on top of the bolster and sit onto your shins or onto your heels. Breath in. Breath out. Isn't that nice, all that space? So we'll work a bit more for the hip flexors in a therapeutic way. So let's come off the bolster, but we are going to set ourselves up, okay? So we're making our little ramp with the bolster that we've made before. So the top block is on its medium setting, and then the bottom block is on its lowest setting, and we make our little ramp. Actually, you know what? For this one, let's do just one block. And then we're coming into hero's pose, but half hero's pose. So we want the right leg out and we want our hips on the bolster. So the right leg is going to be straight. Okay. And just make sure your block that's under your bolster is toward the top half, because you're going to want support at the pretty much at the end of the bolster there. Okay, and then you can scoot your hips right to the end of the bolster on the bottom half, because again, we're going to want some space. So draw a breath in here and notice, make sure your left hand can fit between your left foot and your left hip, and the left knee is facing forward. We've got a lot more space here, so sometimes the body will want to go wider. I know my body usually does, so just be mindful of that. We're sitting tall. And then we bend the right knee. So just plant the right foot on the ground. Beautiful. Draw a breath in. And let's take an easy twist to the right. So your right hand can come behind you, maybe even on the bolster, and the left hand onto the left leg. Just twist. Now, while we're twisting, think about the left outer hip just dropping a bit heavier. And notice that lovely softening. Gently release to turn back to center. Now we use our hands to support us. Start to walk your hands back. Maybe let your upper body come down. Now I know we don't have all the length for the head to be supported, but that's okay because we want to stay kind of active anyway through this for now. If available, you can bring your right knee into your chest. Now I know a lot of you have really tight hip flexors, which is why this could be wonderful support for you. There is, a variation where you could be fully laying down flat on the ground, which by all means you're welcome to try in your practice. We've done it before in classes, but this is a way to start accessing that deeper stretch, but with support. And I know that it's like extra work for the head. You could picture laying back. I mean, I guess technically, nah, a block is gonna be too low. We need bolsters that are like twice the length. But that's okay. Nice and easy. Let the right foot come down and your hands come back to the mat and they help you up. And then we switch. So just lengthen your right leg, undo your left leg, give them a little shake. And of course too, if your hips feel really open here, you can do this with your hips flat on the floor. I just did the first one like that so that you have the support to get into that stretch, because that can be a pretty big shift, okay? So up to you. Same idea though, except now the right leg is coming back, left leg is forward. We double check that our right hand can fit between the hip and the heel, and the knee is facing forward. We stay tall on a breath in. And the breath out, we drag the left heel along the ground to bend the knee in. So planting the foot on the mat. That part alone can be a lot. Twist, rotate to the left. Left hand can come behind you, maybe onto your bolster or onto the mat, whatever. Right arm just helps you rotate. The right hip gets heavier. Soften the front of your right hip. And turn back to center. Use your hands. Start to walk your hands behind you to let the upper body lay down. And find the spot that works for you. Because the whole thing, just setting up with the bent left knee and the right leg in heroes and reclining, like this is a lot of stuff. So you find your edge. Maybe the left knee can come in for a hug. But maybe not, and that's okay. Notice all the opening you get through the right side and how you can actively ground down through the front of the right shin. Full breath in and out. Let's do one more in and breath out. Slowly release the left foot down. Your hands come down onto the ground and you help push yourself up. Slide the right foot forward or do whatever you need to easily get out of this pose. Get off the bolster. And we'll turn lengthwise on our mat. Wide-legged forward fold is what we'll move into, but let's set up properly first. So maybe you want to have those blocks behind the knees so that your sit bones can face downward. You may even want to use your bolster on your mat and just put it height-wise so you can rest your forehead. That can be really lovely too. We sit tall wherever we're at, and then soften to wherever you want to go, or perhaps wherever you need to go. I know I'm going into a forward fold and I like to have the support underneath my ribs, so I'm using my bolster for that. Use your props, they're here to help you. I remember many years ago now, but starting my yoga practice, I remember thinking, oh, I wouldn't need props. Like, that's for people that, aren't strong, or they're not quote unquote good at yoga, right? Like, talk about a teenage mind approach to yoga. But really, like, the props are here to support your practice, and the more quote unquote advanced you get in your practice, the more you're going to use props, because the more you recognize that they actually help deepen your practice, right? And that deepening comes from that fundamental connection inside. It's nothing we force from the outside. So see what softens. Think about, while we're in this position, just a few little tiny cues inside your body. So maybe close your eyes and firstly go into your hips and notice where your sit bones are sitting on the mat. Can you think of anchoring them in so that you feel the middle of your sit bones anchoring down, not the front or the back, but the middle? And just with that alone, did you now notice that there was a slight shift in the positioning of your quadriceps, of your femur bones, of your abdominals, of your hips? Now that that's anchored down, keep it like that. The next bit of awareness is coming through the heart space, your sternum. The sternum pulls, if you're seated upright, it pulls up. If you are in a fold, it's just pulling you forward gently, gently, but it does not compromise the anchoring you just created in your sit bones. And then soften the skin on your face. Feel the air move between your toes. Notice your breath. Notice the sounds inside the room. Notice the sounds outside the room. And come back to your breath. Press into your hands so you can come all the way up, nice and easy. Set your bolster aside. Bring your hands to your inner knees so you can mindfully drag those heels in. Give the legs a shake. How are those hips feeling? Whoo! It's time to lay down. So as you come into stillness, just turn to lay down on your back. Knees are bent, feet on the mat, shoulder blades flat. Knees pull in so hands can come onto kneecaps. Make sure your neck feels long, so pull the chin into the throat a little bit. And start to draw circles with your knees. Again, whatever way you start is fabulous. Lots of reports on counterclockwise at the beginning. I start counterclockwise just naturally pretty much every time. But that's not like necessarily right or wrong or anything, it's just an observation. So you notice what you start with. And let the circles just be nice and gentle. Notice if one side feels a little more tense than the other. Just easy circles, almost effortless. Allow yourself to be a little lazy here. And reverse. Go the other way. Check in with your breathing. Beautiful. Now shift to forward and back with the knees, just pulling them in and out. Notice how your breath has already started shifting to a more relaxed place. Maybe you're noticing that you're even producing more saliva in the mouth as the body shifts into that rest and digest state. Now pull the knees away from you, hang on to the knees, and once you've got some tension, let the feet hit the floor. Beautiful. Feel the ripple effect of the chi through your body. Drag one leg straight and then the other leg straight, and let your arms relax out to the sides, palms facing upward, shoulder blades are flat. Draw the chin toward the throat. Close the eyes. Breathe in and out of the nose. Notice the sound of your breath. Notice the sounds inside the room. Notice the sounds outside of the room. And come back to your breath. Soften the skin. And just blink open your eyes, gazing to the ceiling. And stretch the arms overhead. Interlace your fingers, press the palms away from you, stretch the toes forward, and release. Drag the heels along the ground, knees into your chest, give yourself a hug, rock side to side. And roll yourself up into a seat, however you'd like. And let's bring palms onto the thighs or in front of the heart in prayer. And just notice how you're feeling. Draw a full breath in and let it go. And thanks for our practice time today. Namaste.
Namaste.
Oh la la. Hope you feel superb after all of those beautiful stretches. Let me know how it went for you in the comments, and we'll see you again very soon. Much love, everyone. Thanks for being here. Bye.